God Fusion Goku and his respective verse would get slammed by SCP-3812, along with Banshaman Shinra and his fodder-ass verse.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Now guys, don't get your panties in a bunch just because I'm making this fire-ass content here. I'm simply just presenting an objective truth, so let's go over this. SCP-3812 is the embodiment of transcendence. Anything that is supposedly above him, he would then supersede because of said definition. Now this can't be a no-limits fallacy due to the fact that it's also consistent within the constant termination of 682. 3812 was a part of the constant termination of 682, and instead of just terminating the 682 or SCP-682, the unkillable lizard, he then looks at the unkillable lizard, says pain, and then disappears. This is after the fact that 682 destroyed every narrative within the SCP verse, and SCP-3812 still survived even that. Don't see God Fusion Goku doing that. And of course, destroying a narrative or even transcending a narrative is dependent on the cosmology of the verse. That's all it will really do, just scale you above the cosmology of the verse. So where does the SCP verse scale in terms of its cosmology? Let's go over that. So the concept of dimensionality has always been a thing within the SCP verse way back when, before the SCP-3812 was even created. There are metaverses, omniverses, and multiverses within the SCP verse as well. And it's also stated if you're a higher dimensional being, then you are capable of accessing every and anything within lower dimensions. In fact, it is stated that the very imagination of a character within a narrative becomes narrative data, otherwise known as an imaginon. So any type of modality like ifs and ands, etc., that are within the narrative quite literally are true to the narrative in terms of information. Thus, destroying that narrative would be destroying every bit of information within the narrative and not just the plot in and of itself. The DJ Cactus within the narrative of SCP-3812 quite literally says that the narrative layers go on infinitely. Crazy, right? There's also a blatant statement that says that there's an infinite hierarchy of space-time, and each space-time consists of a conceptual, spiritual, physical, and even fictional reality. I said fictional, I meant fictional, which is consistent because it's stated verbatim that there's a place in every reality that is as deep as mathematically possible. They have quite literally every definition of infinity within the SCP verse, and they are each a reality. And SCP-3812 can quite literally see every reality in every narrative within the verse. And it's stated so many times that SCP-3812 transcends the SCP verse by multiple narrative layers. He's also omnipresent, and since he's above everything within the verse, he literally has access to everything in the verse, every ability, every item, all of that. And because of this, he'd have the strongest and the most imaginons in the verse as well. The SCP verse in terms of its cosmology is so vast that I can't even go over all of it within this video. Honestly speaking, this is all I need to prove the point of him soloing the fuck out of the Dragon Ball franchise, and on top of that, Fire Force and Soul Eater as well. Honestly speaking, there's no room to debate. This is just factual.